Welcome to Bag Talk Session, where we get real intimate with that spiritual bag within. I am your host, Tara Chantel, and today I am so excited and so honored to have someone who's really for the culture, for the people, and for the youth. Curtis, what's popping with you?
What's good, Slime?
Hey, in this session, you don't gotta be humble out here. Please let us know everything that you do for the youth and for the people.
Woo, all right, well, I mean, when you say you don't gotta be humble, I'm trying, that's gonna be tough, but I'm gonna go for it. Well, my name is Curtis Carmichael III. That's probably the least humble thing about me is my name. It's pretty regal out here. But yeah, I'm Curtis Carmichael III, no middle name. You can follow me at Brother Carmichael on all socials. Yes. But we'll get into that later. I am the Inclusion and Diversity Chairman for Atlanta Public Schools, specifically Howard Middle School, and I'm also the same thing for Hope Hill Elementary. That's in the Boulevard. That's over there in Inman Park area. I'm also the creator and host of the Plug Talk, which is be the person you needed when you were a child. That's at Stevenson High School. We do that every single week. We bring in people like yourself, people like you who's watching. We bring them in to just be the person they needed when they were a child. It's not a career day. It's not a talk your shit day. It's just I'm sorry, y'all.
No, that's real.
It's just what you need. What did you need to come? What did your spirit need to say to these kids at that moment? So, yeah, that's what we do. We do that, and also I work for Turnout PAC, which is a political PAC. We just turn out to vote. We just get people that look like you and myself, that have progressive state of mind to go vote. I'm not trying to tell you who to vote for. I just need you to go vote.
Yes, see, that's the key. You always preach like go voting, but people who are not into politics, they're not familiar with who to vote for. So how can you guide us to the right direction?
So this is when people say like, who should I vote for? It's like whatever you like. I can't.
But we don't know.
So, but this is what I say about this. So go vote. So when you look in your community, I feel like everyone should. This whole two-party thing, this shouldn't be, because everyone, at the end of the day, everyone should have the same common sense of like, I want my education system to have more of a budget than my police force. I don't want there to be potholes in every single street that I go on that makes me get new tires every month. I don't want to have to pay an extra 3% tax on every single thing. So when I say, who should I vote for? You just need to vote for who's progressive. Like really go on your like sos.ga.gov.
Okay, there we go.
Or georgiapoll.com or ballotpedia.com. And then when you just look, you don't even have to like know the people that you're looking at. Just say put in education, and then all of a sudden everything that they've ever either voted on or against or even just didn't vote for will pop up. So then you can just see for yourself. And thankfully for us, especially in Georgia, most of those people are progressive. So shout out to John Ossoff. Shout out to, Stacey Abrams still out there. I'm not gonna say no more names. Yeah. Y'all got it.
You said y'all got it.
Y'all know who to vote for. Y'all know. Listen, just listen.
Yeah, see, how do we get more active in our community?
Man, you just gotta there's so many, like, just talk to your community. Just like today, a couple friends of mine, all musicians, called Bando Beach. Shout out to I'm gonna do a lot of shout outs.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Shout out to Bando Beach.
That's awesome.
Shout out to Bando Beach. States like Curtis. We want to do a food drive. Like they don't have food. They're not a restaurant. They're not a business. They're just a group of production team, some musicians. But they was like, hey, we don't know what we can do in this situation, but we do know our people are hungry no matter what.
Yeah.
So we might not be able to do something today about police reform, but what can we do to make sure that people who are getting hindered by police reform, how can we help? So that's something that we started today. We're just talking, but we're also like, hey, let's make sure we get everyone to work out this. So we're talking to black-owned businesses to get the food from them. So then when we do give out food, it's from like a local Green Atlanta. It's from Nina's Farm. It's from people like The Gathering. It's from all these different organizations. So we're making sure everyone's getting some love. It's all about community at this point.
It is about community. And the crazy thing is, you're not even from the A.
You're not, man,
where are you from?
I'm from Ohio.
Hey.
Just a kid from Ohio.
Just
Shout out
a
to
kid
LeBron.
from Ohio. But you're making so many connections down here. How did you do it? Where did you start? Plug us in.
Man, hey, the plug is from the source.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The charge up was from him and her. You know.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey.
You know,
It's a
shout
black
out to
woman.
Leo.
They don't. Hey.
Life. That's all I gotta say. Life.
Literally.
I wouldn't come from one for y'all without y'all. But I came here after graduating from University of Toledo. Shout out to the Rockets.
You better shout out.
I'm telling you, I'm shouting out everybody today. It's a shout out day. I usually
Literally,
don't do
show
it, but
love, show
so
love.
many times people say you didn't take my move. So you know everybody's getting shout outs today.
Show love.
So I came from University of Toledo in 2013, and before I moved here, I actually had an internship with the Radio 1, Hot 107.9, Magic 107.5, and Praise 102.5. And I just, Emperor Cersei, DJ Drama, just a lot of really great people were there at the time. And when I got this internship, I didn't know if I had nothing to do with music. I knew nothing about music. I knew nothing about Atlanta except for my aunt who lives here, and I only came here as a kid, so I didn't know anything about the adult life of Atlanta.
Yeah.
So, but I wanted to get out of Ohio. I wanted to go to a bigger place. So I was like, hey, I got this internship. I was like, let's go. Came down. It was great. I got to do Birthday Bash, and that changed my life. I met so many different artists. I realized there was a lot of different avenues in music and in the entertainment that I don't have to be an entertainer or an artist. I can be a logistical nerd like I am and still be able to make
Get
a
it
path.
popping, yeah.
So that got me here.
That is amazing. And you working with kids, seeing the influence that music has on the kids, on the youth. What do you think about today's circular, I can't even pronounce it, music that's like the mainstream rap that they are preaching to the kids right now?
It's tough because I'm at a crossroads. Like, do I want these artists to say something more positive? Of course I do. Like, duh, like, come on, yo. But at the same time, like, I remember when I was 15, 16, 17, 14, 18, 19, 20, shoot, I can keep on going up to my age. And sometimes it's almost like when you know it's good, you don't want to hear it. And I realize that with the students I go and speak with, when I go and strictly say like, hey, you should go to school or be a lawyer or do this, that, and, or I only bring the top echelon people to the schools, they start thinking it's fake. So I mean, to the schools, I bring in like a dope boy and be like, listen, this is how life is. It's like, you guys think it's so cool.
Right.
Y'all think this is so cool.
I think it's so cool.
Let's take it after y'all like get out of high school and all y'all think about is buying rims. Now I got a baby mom, so I'm trying to keep up the lifestyle. Now I got this, that, and the third. Now it's not cool to have $50,000 in the shoebox.
Yeah.
Because you can't do nothing with that money. The moment you do something that's bigger than a $500 purchase, cops are already on you. And the kids aren't thinking about that. So it's like, hey, I'm not saying like, because the moment you say to a kid, you shouldn't do that or you shouldn't listen to it, obviously they're going to do that. So me bringing in people that normally a school would be hesitant on is like most of those people always would love to be like, hey, I wish somebody would have told me this.
Yeah.
So, hey, instead of like racking up $50,000, $60,000 in the shoebox, get that and flip it and turn it into a laundromat. Now you're out the game at 12.
Hey,
at 17.
That's a GOAT move right there.
You know, like you're 17 with a laundromat. Like now you're like.
Nobody's thinking like that. We're thinking about drugs. We're thinking
about drugs,
ladies.
money, and
You know,
ladies
yeah.
and all.
This music that has influenced the culture in such a negative way, I believe, is not teaching the kids about the trading, like trades, working with your hands.
Like we were saying on the phone earlier, like I would love to have a homie who's a plumber.
But why we sleep on that? Why we sleep on being a plumber, working with our hands?
Because it's not cool. But I always remember my dad always said the coolest thing to be is have to do with just make sure you always was good with the check. Yeah. Like you never had to worry. Like so. When I left like the music world, not even leave it, but when people was like, "Oh, Kurt, you're not gonna work with Sci-Hi, you're not gonna work with these people," it's not that I was like. At first, I was nervous, like, man, that was a cool job, going on tour, like doing all that cool stuff. But when you act, I wasn't happy. I wasn't joyful with what I was doing. I'm not saying, and I enjoy, and don't get me wrong, everything I was doing, I enjoyed, and I got something out of it. But I knew that wasn't what my calling was. So.
So how did you find your calling in life?
By accident. It was really, I mean, I always knew I loved like working with like the youth. My first major in college was education.
Yeah.
But when I first had to go to a school to like start co-teaching, whatever what y'all call it now, para-teaching. I forgot.
Hey, like, what y'all call
I forgot what it's
yeah.
called. I hated it. The moment I was in the class, they had to actually teach. I thought that the whole concept of me having to be in the same building every day, all year. Well, I couldn't.
If you don't have no windows, then
I lost it.
sucks,
I lost it. So I immediately went to my guidance counselor. Was like, whatever major y'all can get me out of today, I'm out. So so when we went, so Sci High, when I was his artist manager, shout out to Sci High Prince, good music. They out in Wyoming. Keep on working.
Really?
I said too much already. No, but he was like, when he came back from Atlanta, he was like, hey Kurt, he has a 10th grade education. He was like, I would love to go back to my high school and tell these kids, like, you know, no matter what the case is, you can make it. Like, look at me now. I'm writing for Kanye West, and I don't even have a 10th grade. I'm technically not able to. I technically can't read at the high school level, but I write all of My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, which is one of the greatest albums of all time. But the funny thing about it is that when we told him that, the school principal, they still was like, we're not allowing you in. So he couldn't go to speak because he wasn't a graduate, he was a dropout, and they didn't want that influence on the students. So we took him to other high schools, and seeing the kids light up from that type of story is what really gave me that passion to be like, maybe this is the direction I need to go with music. Instead of me just working with artists and like doing tours and all that, maybe I just need to get these folks into the school system, or maybe I need to get
the plug.
I need to be the plug, you know. I need to be the plug.
Right, so you can touch the people because the youth is the next generation to come.
Exactly.
So who did you need when you were younger? What did you need someone to tell you when you were younger?
Man, to get out of where I was, point blank.
Yeah.
I didn't have anybody like that really. I mean, I had thankfully my family. I didn't come from a 2-parent household, but my family still were a stronghold for me. They were a major platform. But necessarily, did I have anyone? No, I was a big churchgoer, but at that time I believed in churchianity instead of Christianity.
That's deep.
Yeah, you know.
Churchianity.
You know, I was real big into churchianity, so I was real big into that. You know, I was every Sunday, every Wednesday, like Bible study, everything.
Then what was you doing on the weekend? Was it matching?
I wasn't doing that. I wasn't like doing anything necessarily. It's just like I was just doing that because it just was a routine. But yeah, I really didn't. I was lost. I went to all white high school. I went to a school of 30. My graduating class was 30, and there was 4 black kids in my class, and the other 3 were adopted. So it was very weird. It was a very there was nobody who looked like me. Yeah. So I was like, whenever we talked about anything, it just was like, this has nothing to do with me.
So what do you think about the teaching in the public school? They teach a lot of white history and not enough of our history.
I mean, they're gonna always do that because, like, think of the word, his story. It's not even ours, you know. So it's always gonna be the victor. The victor gets the spoils. So I think right now this is the first time in this country's history that another person's history is starting to be spoken. And that's like when you talk to a lot of people, not even just white people, but just black people in general. A lot of people didn't know about Tulsa. A lot of people don't know about Crispus Attucks, who, without a black man, there would never been an American Revolution. I don't think none of y'all know that.
No, drop it on us.
He was the first one that shot the bullet. He was the first one that took one of them redcoats out. Was a black man. Like, his name's Crispus Attucks. He's out there. Check him out.
Do the history.
You know, so like there's so much like now actually that stuff's actually coming out. So I think that's what like with
because a lot of us didn't even know about Juneteenth.
Yeah, a lot of
black people didn't know.
A lot of people
They've been keeping our history from us.
Yeah, because they know how like they don't realize that the street lights are ours. Like everything that we've like there's so many things out here that we created that they just took or not even took, they just said thank you and just let's go.
Did a spin-off.
Come on, come on, KFC. I don't even like KFC, but no white man with an all-white suit makes chicken like that.
Hey.
An all-white suit with no grease stains?
Stay woke. Stay woke out here.
But yeah, so education needs to change, but the only way we can change that is by putting more into the budget. And that's because, I mean, once Atlanta cut their budget by 14%, I mean, what else do you think is going to get taught? Like, we're already not teaching our students enough. If you cut it by 14% already, what else is going to be cut? Like, what else? They're already taking sciences away, arts away.
Really?
Like, there's so many things that's being taken away. So,
to be honest, going back, thinking about high school, I don't remember nothing. Like, I didn't take away no life lesson, no education from high school.
None. I mean, you're not, in high school or college, you're not actually supposed to, like, oh, Aubrey, you're supposed to, high school, education, okay. Education is only supposed to teach you how to, like, solve from point A to point Z. It doesn't actually, education is not supposed to actually teach you anything. It's like supposed to, you don't learn how to be a doctor from going to school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You kind of do. Like, doctor, okay, that's a terrible thing. You don't learn how to be a social worker by going to school. Like, you learn how to do the process of becoming a social worker. But, like, actually knowing, like, going to school, like going to a house and seeing if this is like a household that like a child needs to be in, that's not an actual, like, a school can't teach you that. That just goes by you being in life experiences and being around a large amount of people. And that's what college is good for, because you're going to be around a large amount of different people. So maybe that person that before college you thought was just like, man, that's just an aggressive ass person. He might just be aggressive, or she just might be aggressive, but you might find out they're loving after going to college because you've experienced so many different people.
Wow, so basically you're saying it's like, oh, that is like really, the school system is so flawed, to be honest.
The school system, I'm sorry, but the school system is only supposed to be societal. Like, you're supposed to learn how to be, you're supposed to learn how to engage with multiple people.
Humans, that's it?
Yeah, just humans. Like, literally.
Wow.
Like, that's really what school is, because like when you think about before education as a child, who are you around mainly?
Yeah, like our family.
Just your family. That's it. You're around your family and you're around your neighborhood, like your community, like your actual physical neighborhood. And those people usually look just like you. So education, especially after they integrated segregation, was supposed to be, the whole concept was supposed to be about societal. How do we make people actually understand and commute with each other? And that's why districts were made. So if you just live in that district no matter what, but with gentrification and all that stuff and the redlining, they made sure our neighborhoods and communities were piss poor. They made sure those other neighborhoods were very affluent. So that's how they've kept us down and kept other neighborhoods up. But that's a whole other story. That's sorry.
No, but that's another thing, how they already pushed us 10 steps back, how they place crack in our community, how we already are misfortune. How do we get back to being upright black people that just better our community? Like, what is some ways that we cannot, like, be so broken down and continue to be oppressed by them?
We gotta stop desensitizing ourselves at first and foremost. These whole, I love it, these whole I can't breathe t-shirts, y'all.
I think we should say I can breathe, but I will breathe.
I am breathing.
That's manifesting.
Well, like, I'm breathing.
Yes.
You see that? That's what we need. Like, I don't need no more of those t-shirts.
Yeah, it's very depressing.
It's very depressing to see all my beautiful black men and women with t-shirts and I can't breathe, and I'm walking around.
That's an affirmation.
And I got a mask on, so I really can't breathe either. Like, come on. So
yeah, that's tough.
That one is that's like a small thing. I love you, Sean King, on Instagram, but you really need to stop. I mean, I understand people need to see what's going on out here, but I don't need to see everything I get on social media, even though I'm not on it often.
Yeah.
To see another black man or woman down. By the way, Breonna Taylor is still, her killers are still out there. Come on, y'all.
Let's get it to it, honestly.
We had to say it one more time.
It's just, Breonna Taylor. It's just, it's like every day we're finding out another one of our brothers or sisters is getting killed, though.
And I think the best thing we can do, and I know I'm biased towards this, is vote. Like, I know people be like, oh, here you go.
Like, who do we vote for?
So this is, all right. Like I said, I'm literally not allowed to say who you should vote for. Like, I'm literally not allowed to due to my job.
Yeah.
But all I gotta say is just really, guys, I believe in my people, our people, enough that once you get information, like I said, GeorgiaPoll.com, Ballotpedia, and you can literally just go on sos.ga.gov and literally get every single person's everything they've voted on, voted against, everything they've even just created and just legacy, like legislation. You can look up that. It's free public information. Just continue to make sure you're always going to these city, like you can go to the public city hall forums, like and get the information on what these people are even talking about. Just last week, they just completely annihilated the whole defund the police vote, and decided to put $75 million in a reserve for the next 2 years instead of putting that back in education or infrastructure. So they took $75 million from the police, but they never took it. They never gave it to anybody else. So really, what they're saying is, we're not going to give them this right now, but in 2 years, we'll just, if nobody like takes this, which
forget about it.
They're not only just going to forget about it, they're going to give it back to the police and then double that. So they're going to get like another like 140 million, which is already on top of the 217 million, which is crazy. So that's the things that we got to just make sure, like just hearing that, you already know, like, all right, how can we stop that?
Yeah.
How we can stop that is by demanding from your Atlanta City Hall, just listening to them, like figuring out who's the sheriff in your neighborhoods, who's the county commissioner, and just saying no to everything they put out. Like, sorry, Keisha, but some things we don't have to say no to. If you want to like better this city, you have to better the city by making sure that those things are done. Like, there's no reason the killer of Rayshard Brooks, the cop, should ever became a cop, because he already got in trouble for something just like this in a past city. And he got rehired in Atlanta.
Wow.
So
yeah, they be having a track record. Honestly,
they be having a track record. Everything.
No, they honestly are disguised as murderers. It's just like,
not disguised, they are. There's no disguise.
Right, it's like the KKK all over in full blown in a whole different uniform.
They're Pinkertons still to this day.
Pinkerton, what's that?
Pinkerton is the original name for the slave bounty hunter. And they were just cops, and after that they changed their names to they just gave, like, once slavery was legal, not legal, illegal, and once the emancipation, these people still needed the job, so they was like, well, you guys should just be still catchers of people who are gonna got caught up.
That's what I was realizing, like, what do we need police for? Because, I mean, I understand some of the crime rates, but usually I only see them, like, stopping people for speeding, just killing unarmed black men. Like, it's just like, what are you doing?
Cops were never, until, like, really the, like, 70s, even, like, back in the 60s, really, like when, like, before the Civil Rights Act, you never really heard about cops killing blacks, you know, because it was just white people killing blacks. And once like 1968 hit, and all of a sudden, like, we get to Reagan, now they're talking about, like, hey, there's a lot of people that was when black people kind of like not living good, but they're like, all right, they can vote, what else can we do to them? All right, well, now we can, like, let's just get this mass incarceration up, because people need to make money still. Like, people need free labor still. Because that's all prison system is. So it's all, at the end of the day, it's still a cycle. But we're I can honestly say, just to keep it on a positive note, like we're getting there. Yeah. And I see that this has been the first time in history that I can see all of our brothers and sisters really, like, listening.
Waking up.
Y'all.
Literally waking up.
Like, even like our older generations, I'm looking at, I was like, oh, y'all really, this is different. This is different.
Yeah, you messed with the last generation.
Y'all messed with the wrong ones.
Yeah, this is the last generation.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of our sisters just knocking out Karens out here, you know, because they are so bold enough to still try to tick us off or just point the finger by saying the N-word, and knowing that is provoking, knowing the intention behind it is malicious.
Yeah.
I don't get that. Why are you still trying to?
I mean, it's funny to me, because as a man who has been called nigger, and when I see them trying to provoke, like, I just look at them and laugh, because I'm like, oh, you thought.
You thought.
But like a friend was talking to me, and he was like talking about, like, rap music. He's like, man, I love rap. He, like, really does, and he likes rap more than me for some reason. But not that it's bad. Yeah. He just really does. But he was, like, really sitting there listening. He was like, man, like, when I begin to the song, Kurt, I'm not gonna lie, I actually be saying the words sometimes. And I'm like,
oh, this a white friend.
Yeah, and I was like, well, I wouldn't even say friend. He's like a colleague. But I was like, oh, word? And he was like nervous to say that. And I was like, oh, wow. And he was like,
oh, wow.
I was like, yeah, I was like, all right. He's like, so would you be mad if I was in the car and I accidentally said while he was, I was
You're
like,
not accidentally saying
and I was
nothing.
I was like, yeah, I'd be mad. First and foremost, I was like, so what if me and like you and your girlfriend was all in the car and I just decided to call her the B word? Like, he's like, that's not the same. I'm like, that's exactly the same. I think we're the first generation that we're really like, you can say that. We will still fight you to the quickness.
See, I don't get why our generation even says that word.
Oh.
Why are we even making it cool? That's not cool. It's very poison in the tongue. We could be calling each other king, queen, brother, sister, dude, but we choose to say the N word that was made up by a white man to try to degrade us. Why is that?
But it wasn't made up by the white man.
Okay, who was it made up of?
It was Negus.
Okay.
Negus is kings back in Africa. Negus. It just was negus.
Okay.
Negus.
Well, we're not saying that.
We're not saying that. We're not saying.
No,
just like we don't say you all, we say y'all. You know, we're gonna change up everything. But I get you, and that's been a thing with me. I've had battles with because I say the word.
Why?
I think they say like, so why?
Yeah, why?
I just like it just becomes like such a. It's not even. It's just it's a normal word. And not listen. It's not. I get it. But it's just one of those. Cause I get this like just to go back. I get mad when like my beautiful black women say like bitch.
Yeah. It cringes.
It makes me cringe. People say like, why don't you cringe when you and your black like your homies be saying nigga, like when y'all be in the room just.
It's so many other words we could use.
And that's
why I believe that rap music has influenced the culture in our subconscious mind to believe that this is a positive affirmation word to say to our people.
Yes.
When it's really degrading. It's really not uplifting whatsoever. And I don't know how we even took it there to go this far, because now it's just too far. We're just drowning. And I hear younger people saying this
every day.
Yeah, and I'm just like, y'all don't even know the root of this word.
And it's something that I am having a difficult time, because me in this political sphere, and like I say, like I can turn it on and off immediately. Yeah. Like it's not like I'm just like, oh my god, I just keep on saying it. Yeah. But it is like when I do let loose and I'm just with my people, I'm probably gonna say it. But I don't know when I started. I don't even know when I started using the word. Yeah. Like I do remember there was a time that I never ever used it, and then one day just like that's
listening to all that rap music. That subconscious plays with us subconsciously. I believe it has such a big influence on our everyday lives.
So have you ever used it?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
But I instantly, when I hear like a brother talking to his brothers about that, to me, I instantly shut it down. I'm like, do we not know how to use our vocabulary? Mm-hmm. Because how I can name homie, dude, brother, king. It's so many other great words out there.
Friend.
So it's just like, what is the cause of it? What is the belief system behind it?
I think it's just that word that we know is ours. So it's like, since it's ours, I'm going to use what's mine. Like, homie is not mine. You know?
It can be.
It can be. All of it's ours.
Everything.
In fact, you know what? Everything is ours.
Literally, we own all of this. The whole land, everything.
So you're right. I should. All right. This is it. All right. This is the bet. I'm gonna start like a jar of some sort. I don't know what type of jar, but I'm gonna put something in this jar every time I say it, and then in a month's time, I'm going to tell you how many things are in this jar.
It's a start. Right, just being mindful.
And then you can tell your viewers, hey, Curtis has this many ones in the jar.
Oh, yes, I appreciate that. Just being mindful of our words and how we speak to one another is so important. And you know how you are a leader in the community, especially the youth, and just preaching to us, just to inform and educate us is incredible. And I truly appreciate your time for just uplifting the culture. It's so needed.
Thank you.
What are some qualities leaders must have?
So you have consistency, efficiency, and persistence. If you can hit those three and be faithful in whatever you're doing and whatever you believe in. If you can hit those 4 things every single day, you're going to make it. Like when you're staying consistent with whatever your job might be. If you're a plumber, if you are working at McDonald's, if you are doing bag talks, if you are if you are a musician, if you're staying consistent with everything that you have to do, the fun parts of being in the studio or doing an actual interview to the research, being consistent with that. If you're persistent with getting that person that you really want on the show, or whatever the case may be that you're doing, being persistent with that, it's going to be huge. I know one story for me was Saha the Prince really wanted to get on ESPN once. He wanted to have one of his songs, and I didn't know what I was doing, get in touch with ESPN. So I just got on customer support. I just looked up customer support on ESPN just to get the number. There's 1-800 number. I kept on going. 3 hours later, I got on the line with the music director. I just was persistent. I was like, I'm not going to get off the phone until we get to this person. So that's persistence. People are going to notice that when you're always consistently persistent. It's going to be great. And then the last, like being efficient. When you do get that opportunity, don't just be like, all right, now that I got the opportunity, let's just kick it and chill out and get it done in a month. No, like if somebody says, Kurt, can you do this? If I have time, and I like, all right, let me just put this down. So if they say you have to get it done in 2 weeks, if I can get it done in 4 days, why not? Because now they can be like, oh, whoa, like I gotta get on his level. Let me just hire him for everything now, or let me just, and then be faithful. When you don't have the job and somebody says no, faith is gonna have you like, oh, I'm gonna make it. Like there was a time I lived in a hotel for a while, like a couple weeks, not a while, but it was some weeks, and I did not know what I was gonna do. It was in Atlanta. I was scared by myself. I was like, oh my God, but I knew I was gonna move to Ohio. I knew I was gonna move back, and I knew that God just didn't say bump it. So here I am now. That was like years ago.
God is so good.
Every time.
How you said being consistent, faithful, and persistent, all wrapped in one.
And efficient.
Efficient. Oh, efficient. What does efficient look like?
Just like I said, just getting things like getting it done. Just
getting it done. Doer.
Just getting it done.
Being a doer.
Doing
I like
it.
that.
Just getting it done. When somebody says, can you do this? And you say yes. Now, if you can't do it or if you don't want to do it, do not say yes. So many people be saying yes. And that word yes is poison sometimes. Because people always want to say yes, 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 yes. And then when you actually got to do that yes, things get out of hand and you don't get, now people, it's just say no.
Yeah.
I love the word no. I used to not use like the word no.
No is self-love.
No is.
That's self-love for real. That's power of self-love. And I want to know, how can Black men protect Black women? Because we need y'all to protect us out here.
Man, I mean, by just protecting, the best way to protect a Black woman is by making sure that you are actually protecting them. And what I mean by that is protect them from you. Like the deadliest person to all Black women is usually the closest man to them.
Man, it sucks.
So
it's like, dang, it's like walking around like my brothers is supposed to be the one protecting me,
and your
not
brothers is the one you use
perverting. Being a pervert out here.
So best thing we can do is really, guys, check in your friends. Like, I know it's hard to be that guy that when you're in a room full of dudes and y'all drinking and watching ESPN and playing 2K, and then that one dude's like, man, bitch, fuck that bitch. Like, and you just say, yeah, look, and you ain't like, bro, like, you were just talking to that girl, like, not even like talking to her, but like, that's your friend. That girl, that girl probably, not even say girl, that woman probably was just talking to her other friends, maybe just about like, hey man, I know this guy, he's my friend, I think you should talk to him. And now you in the other room talking, just not even talking bad about her, but you're just letting men talk bad about her. So now, so I just want to tell men, like, just check each other. Like
That's real.
it's not that. I promise you, like that one dude that you check, it's just like roasting. Like we roast each other all the time, right?
Yeah.
Like I'll tell you, like what are those shoes? You came in with Nikes and we'll roast the dude for wearing Nikes and Adidas at the same time, but we will roast the dude for coming out one of our women.
Yes,
like
our queens.
So
our queens that get things done out here.
like brings life, like it brings Yoni.
Brung you in this world.
A young lady I'm talking to, shout out to Raya. I had to say her name. Hey, how you doing? She actually had me take this class. It was called the Yoni. It's called the Yoni.
What is that?
It was it was the worship. It was basically pussy worship. Sorry, that's exactly how they use it. Like this young lady who was the teacher of the class, and it was basically like the whole concept was worship, not even worshiping, but it was like giving gratitude to where life came from on this earth.
That's real. We don't do that
and
enough.
it was, as a man, I was like, whoa, this is way deeper than I expected.
Yeah, because y'all don't understand that women carry a child for 10 months.
Carry a child, and
that comes out of like a hole this big.
I really am very like watching, like just hearing them talk, and I was just like, wow, it was like science but spiritual at the same time.
That's why a black woman is God.
Right? I'm telling you.
Don't underestimate who gives life out here.
Like Jesus might have been like Jacina or something like that. It might have been.
Yeah.
Cause I don't know. Shout out to Leah, by the way.
Shout out, man.
Shout
I'm
out.
telling you, you was just dropping it. You dropped so much bag, Curtis. I appreciate you so much. And how we close off every bag talk session is filling that bag. Okay? So I'm going to start it. You finish the sentence.
Well, I like this.
Yes.
Gang.
To stay consistent.
Oh, you started off hot.
Yeah, going in hot.
To stay consistent, you must be persistent.
To stay consistent, you must be persistent. Black lives matter because
we are God.
I'm sorry. You keep it so simple. How I tap into my spiritual bag.
By waking up.
Wow, it's just that simple. Like, it's just that simple out here.
I'm only a spiritual being. Like I don't got, without him, I'm a vessel.
Yeah, man, a vessel out here. Drop your social networks. How can we stay in touch with you? Keep up with you.
Come on, please. You can follow me at Brother Carmichael. That's brother.
Yeah.
Not the N-word. It's brother. That's Brother Carmichael. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm really just on Instagram. Brother
you need
Carmichael.
To get active on Twitter.
I'm on Twitter at Just a Kid from Ohio. Please, guys, go vote. Please, I'm going to say that a million times because I haven't talked about it enough. Go vote. November 3rd is the elections. There should be some runoffs coming out for some Senates and some U.S. House legislative branches is going to be on runoffs as well. Go vote. It's your right. Be local. It's all about local. And if you do go vote down your ballot. Do not be stupid. Go vote. We've only had this right as black men and women for about 54 years. So that means we've only got to vote 12 times completely in our whole like forever.
That's crazy.
Since 1776, these white people have been voting since 1776.
They've been doing us dirty.
We've been voting for 54 years. Like our parents are older than the whole breadth of how long we've been able to vote. So guys, go vote. Don't give up on it. We've only been doing this for 4 years. We've already got a black president in there. We're like taking over.
Let's get it. Oh yeah, we are. The ones that became last are about to be first. Know that. Please give us some wisdom to the black community. Give us some encouragement, some wisdom, some knowledge, some bag talk real quick to close us out.
Be the person you needed when you were a child. That means in front of that child and even behind closed doors. Make sure you as a 12-year-old you is proud of you. Work hard, play hard, love hard, go hard. See ya.
Straight like that. Thank you guys for tuning into another Bag Talk session. We're going to be back at it with another one.